This meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded.
So the meeting this evening is being recorded and has to do with officer workshops, a way to expand our understanding of our offices, maybe ask and get answered all those questions that sort of nettle at us, and be able to share ideas and things that work well for you or problems that you're trying to solve. So that's really the program for the evening. I do want to acknowledge the leaders of each of the three breakout sessions. Leading our session for presidents and vice presidents is Beth Townsend. Beth, if you would wave your, there you are, you're waving your hand. Beth is currently the president of Ohio and chapter Cincinnati. Leading our treasurer breakout room is our national treasurer, Daphne Emick. Daphne's not showing her face, but she's there.
I'm here.
There you are. All right. And leading our secretary workshop, we decided we would combine the two because they sometimes work together, but they each have very distinct roles as well. The recording secretary for the national board is Rachel Bly. Rachel, yeah, there she is. And our corresponding secretary for the national board is Sarah Haudeschelt. Sarah is a member of Ohio F in Dayton. I forgot to mention that Rachel is a member of Iowa AU in Grinnell. And Daphne is a member of, oh my goodness, I'm going to get the letters wrong, in Prairie City.
AJ.
In AJ in Iowa, AJ in Prairie City. So those are your leaders, and they will be available to you not only this evening in our breakout sessions, but certainly will be available to you for follow-up, for conversations or emails, questions, or text messages. Are there any questions before we get started? All right. Well, then I think we should plunge in, and I'm not going to set a timer, but I will be visiting the various breakout rooms, and I'm going to ask Julie Baker, our national vice president, to also visit some breakout rooms and kind of just take a feel and make sure that we know what's going on and how much time more you want. We will reconvene in the main room at an appropriate time, but I don't want to put any limits on this. And then we'll conclude at that point. And I would like to hear a little bit about some of the highlights of things that you've talked about in each of your breakout rooms, because I think that would benefit everyone else. We are not silos. We are teams of leaders who work together, support each other, and we're strongest when we are communicating well and sharing what we're planning. So with that, I'm going to try to put us into breakout rooms, and we'll see what happens. And I may need some help here, so I'll let you know, but here we go. All right. I think maybe the best way for me to do this, it looks like, is to call your name and ask you which room you need to or want to be in. As some of you, I know where you need to be. Others, I'm going to need some help. So Dory, you're going to be in the president's room, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Emma, where do you want to be?
It does not matter.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter where you put me.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to put you in the if I can, in the, I'm having trouble with this, in the secretary's room. Rayanne, where would you like to be? Rayanne?
You handle it professional, not like your dad.
Treasurers.
Oh. I wish that I knew how I could let you all self-select. I'm not
You-
sure how to do that. If anybody knows how, let me know.
Do you want to make me host and see if I can?
Okay, I can do that.
Great.
Who was it that's that Daphne?
Julie
Julie.
Baker.
Sorry, I,
Oh,
that's,
Listen to them, they're out
I
there
have to
all-
find you, Julie. Sorry.
I'm scared.
All right, Julie, you're the host.
Okay. Give me a second. All right, you have them pre-set up, so we can't do that. So, it's just, you have to set it up a different way beforehand to do that. So we're gonna just, I say, let's go ahead and let's open all the rooms. And, so we'll just have to, oh
Move
my
people
goodness.
around.
Yeah. I don't know how to do this since you already made the rooms ahead of time. We'll just have to go. Althea, where do you want to go? Althea.
Is everything
Yes.
okay?
Okay. Beth Townsend, you're going to president, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kathy, C-A-T-H-I, or what do you want to go to?
President.
President. Sindra, I think you wanted to go to treasurer.
Treasurer.
Deb Schliemann, how about you?
President,
President. Emily Schieffer.
corresponding secretary.
All right. Joyce Rutherford Donner,
Treasurer.
treasurer. Karen Hayes. Karen Martin, Karen Martin. Karen Martin, okay. Karen Zakursky. You guys are gonna have to unmute yourselves. How about Kathy Richardson?
Oh, I'm treasurer. I think I answered for the K-A-T, the C-A-T-H-I.
Right, yes, this is Kathy, and I'm Kathy Hollis wants to get into the recording and correspondence.
Okay, I'll move some people around in just a second. How about
Sorry.
Karen Martin? How about Karen Martin? Okay, how about Karen Zakursky?
You can assign me to anything you'd like.
Okay, how about Kathy Richardson?
President.
How about Kathy Heatherton?
President.
How about Linda Peters?
Secretary.
How's about Lynn Kerr?
Vice President.
And Maria?
Treasurer.
And Mary Connor?
Treasurer.
And Mary Jo Scher?
I can do either I'm VP or recording secretary.
I'll put you in secretary. Patricia Young.
President.
And Patty Jonathan, looks like you're secretary?
Yep.
Phyllis
Vice President.
and Rachel 93. Okay. Secretary. How about Rayanne Burek
Treasurer.
and Sarah Howdeshelt, secretary?
Yep.
And Sue Matz
Treasurer.
and Willa?
President.
President, okay. And Althea?
Treasurer.
Treasurer. And Carol Williamson?
President.
President. And Karen Martin? Oh, you're muted, Karen.
There we
Karen,
go. Corresponding secretary.
secretary, okay. So Kathy, where did you want to go? Kathy Hollis?
I wanted to go to the secretary, recording and correspondence secretary.
Okay, I think I got you there.
Okay.
And Karen, did you see, Karen Martin, did you see a place to accept going to a room?
It says breakout room, joint breakout room.
Yep, go ahead and join the breakout room.
Okay,
And Karen Martin, do you see,
And Carol Williamson just joined. So it's you and me.
yeah, and
Okay,
so,
I'm gonna turn off the recording. Because there's no.
oh, I have to do that.
Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
They're coming back.
Keep saying it.
Okay, one of
Oh.
our members that is been from the early 2000s, her daughter, who graduated with our son, her daughter joined. She returned to Spirit Lake, Okoboji area, and she became involved in our chapter. And you just can't imagine how many people she has brought in to bring
Wow.
new life. We're 41 members. And
Wow,
know,
that's amazing.
Wonderful.
Good for you.
Good.
and with 41 members, and we have in the sustaining, we have 3 of our founding members. And we
Wow.
our
Charter members.
chapter started in 51.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, that's great.
So,
Well, I can say I just had such a great time jumping into all of the different rooms. I'm not sure that everybody was finished talking, but Joyce, I know you're going to finish everything up there, but I just wanted to say it was just so great to see so many people who were just so interested in their job and so dedicated to Tri-T and their job, to see you here wanting to either share your ideas or learn more. So sorry, Joyce, I just wanted to jump in and say that before you ended. So
That's quite all right. I would like one person from each of the rooms to kind of say what were highlights from the discussion, or something that you're going to go back to your chapter and say, would you believe this? We can do X, Y, or Z. So if we can do that kind of quickly, I won't keep everybody too long. We've been at this just an hour, so another few minutes will be okay. Let's start with the president's group. I can ask Beth, or Beth, you can appoint someone, or someone in your group. You had a really very good chatty group who may be willing to share some things that you learned and shared.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things. I don't even know if I remember them all. Dory, what did you think were the sort of the highlights?
Well, we began with what you do to streamline your meetings. And Beth meets with her core group or her officers for the week before, sometimes up to 2 hours, but gets kind of the discussions in line. And so they know what they're going to discuss at the meetings, and it shortened the meetings up. We sometimes have that problem as far as the meetings getting too long. So that was a really good, as far as streamlining the meetings. You know, you're sending out, when you send out your agenda, you're sending out the minutes, the agenda, the financial, the Sunshine Fund. And so everybody has a chance to look through these things before the meeting. And so if there's any questions, they can check through those things and they can, talk then. Let's see, important things. Let's see, Kathy, you were talking about the things you do in January as far as getting together with your groups and discussing what will be coming, what you plan on doing, things like that. But still, it's the consensus, getting your core group together, your officers, and discussing things before the meeting seems to really be the about the big thing for all of us. Keeping in touch with our members, emails throughout the months. We don't meet in January and February, but a couple of you had said that that is just really important to stay with our members. We meet 10 times a year, so that through the emails, that's really important that our members know that we're still caring about everyone and we're still in touch. We talked a little bit about grants with Walmart and Kohl's, our chapter GD here in Dubuque. We can sometimes get $1,200 to $1,500 a year on top of our fundraiser from Kohl's for what they volunteer for. It's Kohl's for Kids. It's a grant. Talk to the manager at your nearby Kohl's store if you're interested. We talked about Founders Day, that our chapter does do Founders Day every year in May or June, whatever does work, but and it's only for our chapter. So that's kind of interest that I love that. I love Founders Day. I myself brought up how some of our officers are pigeonholed. Our treasurer, myself, and our Ways and Means people. It's just they've done it and they do a great job, but there's no end in sight. So and a couple people brought up about shadowing. Have people come in and shadow these people so they can eventually take over. Co-chairs for a lot of these committees, which we obviously we need that. Rotating secretary, whoever is available. And someone brought up we have an aging membership. Before we left, I think it was Beth who said 75% of our membership is 70 or older.
Wow.
So we deal with that. We're trying to get the younger people in. So kind of in a nutshell. Beth, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think the last thing that you talked about brought up at the beginning is, what do we do as a sort of corporate tri-T to make ourselves attractive to younger members in terms of how and when we meet and structure meetings and the things that we expect from members to get those younger people in, because otherwise what's going to happen? What's the future of the organization? And I think that, whether you have 40 members or 10 members, I think it's probably somewhat of an issue along the way at some point. And so I don't know. I don't have the magic bullet answer, but I think it's something that we all should be talking about. And I want to thank Dory for taking notes for our group.
Sure.
Yes, definitely. Okay. There may be some other questions, and it sounds like a lot of good ideas and things that then you'll take back to your chapters and talk with your other, with your lone leadership teams. Let's move on to treasurer. Daphne, you want to mention anything or someone within the group?
So we went through a lot of information in a short amount of time. We could have used 10 more minutes, but it's okay. We got through the important parts. I showed them how to find their information. We talked about the R&D reports, but honestly, treasurers have a huge job and it's a lot. And so use your resources and ask Molly, ask me, ask Julie, anybody who's been a treasurer is willing to help because it is a big job. So let us help you.
Okay, thank you very much. When I visited your breakout room and you were going through the website with all of the materials and resources that are there, we feel like we've posted a lot of information that can be helpful, but only if somebody uses it. And if it doesn't make sense, even when you go to it, then you've got to let us know so that we can clarify and make it much more, as user-friendly or as available and accessible as we can. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you,
Daphne. Joyce, if I can add, Daphne had a very nice presentation, very well organized, really helped. And
it was pretty too, Joyce.
And it was pretty, it was purple.
Of course it was.
The handbook and all of that information is online, but it is not easy to find. You have to go through a lot of stuff in order to try to find it. And Daphne went through and said, here's where it is. And that was really, really helpful.
I give you page numbers,
page numbers and where to find it online. And it was really, really good. And I think we could easily have used more than 10 minutes because there's still lots for us.
Well, and that's part of the problem is how do you put all of that, lots of stuff, all at the top level of a
Mhm.
website when the website has grown tremendously. Emma, what would you want to add? You're muted,
Thank
honey.
you. I just want to ask Daphne if she can send that condensed version of what the treasurer could do online to me.
If I can get a list of everybody who wants it, I'll email it out to anybody who wants it, because I do have it, Miss Emma. So
Okay.
I have your email address, but I just need a list of who to send it to, right? So I'll
Can
share it
we
with everybody.
Can we take the participants list from this meeting?
Can you
And
send it
just
to
assume
me?
that
And
we'll just assume that we send it to everybody.
That'd be
You know,
perfect.
whether it's a treasurer or not, you can
Great.
toss it if it
Yeah.
doesn't apply to you, but
Okay.
you'll also have that information.
Even if they did not make the meeting, correct? Joyce?
Yeah, I'll send it
Okay.
to anybody. I'm happy to
Great.
share.
Julie
Okay.
Johnson is our girl. Yeah,
I
Thank
want
you.
everybody to have it because I worked hard on it and made it pretty.
good.
Okay,
Awesome.
all right. Julie, you're grabbing some of that?
No, right now, somebody was asking about associate member and I just pulled something from the bylaws. And the formatting's really, really crazy on that, so I apologize, but look in Article 1 for that. But I can get the member
Yeah,
list.
just
Yes,
grab the member list.
I can do that.
Okay, we'll move on then to Rachel and Sarah, who led the secretaries meeting. What would you like to share with us or ask someone from the group?
I can share a few things that I jotted down. We talked about, similar to what Dory was saying, just how to make meetings a little more efficient and prepare. And so we talked about, doing a consent agenda. So making sure we're sending those things out and then doing some of those easy things in a consent agenda at the beginning of the meeting so that we're not taking so much time with that. And about one way to set things up is to have for each thing on the agenda, details and actions, so that we're sure that we're not forgetting the actions that we have promised to do. And it's really clear when we're looking at the minutes who said they would do what. So that's a piece that we talked about. We did have some really good conversations about Google Drives and Google Docs and things like that. And would that be helpful for folks? Maybe not taking during the meeting, but to basically store documents, as well as, as a place where different people would have access to them. So looking at that and maybe doing some training with Google Docs. And then also looking at the role of the corresponding secretary and how can we maybe add some marketing and things like that to what that position is doing. We're not doing as many letters and things like we have done over the past decades. And, so how can we sort of reinvent that position to something that's a little more helpful to what we need right now, and looking to the ambassadors to help with that. So Sarah, I'll let you add if you want to add anything to that, and anyone else who is in the group, feel free to add.
I think you covered all of it. Good job, Rachel.
All right.
Hey, this is Daph, and we talked about Google Docs real quick too, as a way to share information with people other than the officers, because hopefully we're not going to be the presidents and vice presidents for the next 10 years, and it's going to pass on to somebody at some point, right? And so I know I am the president right now, and I do the yearbook for my chapter, but I've shared this shared drive with my members because at some point, maybe I won't be doing the yearbook for my club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this can be very helpful. Good communication.
And we did talk, I'm sorry, I am going to say something. We did talk about that you can just set up a tri-T like email address and then have the drive on that. And then Joyce stopped in on our meeting at that point, and she suggested that maybe one of our Let's Connect would be a Gmail or Google Doc, kind of a getting to know Google Doc. I won't be training that because I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I don't think it would be very hard to find someone who knows a whole bunch about Google Doc.
Right. could be helpful. Okay. Any other comments or
Joyce?
questions?
Yeah, Joyce, I just want to say, you know, I'm not a real old member, but I've been since 2008. And my hats go off to this national officers, because you guys are doing a fabulous job. I appreciate all of the communication that you are having with us. And I think you're just doing a phenomenal job.
Well, thank
And
you
we
very
appreciate
much. I will say thank you for my colleagues, because it really is a team operation. This is a very definitely a working board, but we work together and use each other's strengths and value and respect each other's opinions and strengths and ideas. And
Wow.
that's what makes it all work
It
together.
shows. It shows, and it really, really, man, I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that very much, William. I don't want anyone to think that we're superhuman. We just put on our blue jeans one leg at a time like everybody else. So you too could be on this board.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, all of you, for participating in this evening's presentations. Thank you to our group leaders, to Beth and to Rachel and Sarah and Daphne. All of your expertise and gentle leadership and guidance really pays off. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. And
We have a hand raised.
oh, we
Karen,
have a hand
Karen
raised. Yes,
Z
I
has her
see
hand
that,
raised.
Karen.
Thank you. I do appreciate this board and all the work you do. I just have to put a plug in because I'm on the nominating committee for the executive board. And since we have all these wonderful people on here and I can see your faces and I know that you're all passionate about the organization, I just have to put a plug in there that we're still searching for someone that would be interested in the National Recording Secretary. And we also have 3 vacancies for camp chairs. We need the Northern camp chairs and a Western camp chair. And I know how hard we all work and we're volunteers, but please think about your chapters and the people you know, and let me know, let Joyce know. If your name comes to mind, I would love to make a phone call and chat with that person and see if they would be willing to work with this wonderful executive board that's already in place. And thank you so much.
You get a lot back. The rewards are equal to the effort that's put out as
Plus, we're
as a
fun.
member of the board.
Yeah. Yeah, but we really need people. We need 3 more people.
Mhm. Okay,
About it.
start thinking about that. There'll be phone calls. Let's see, this list of participants will go directly to Karen. Well, once again, thank you very much for being here, for joining in this officer workshop, one of what we may do again in the future. There's always new things to discuss and new officers to orient to the positions. So have a wonderful week. Stay warm if you're in places like where I am. Stay cool if you're in places like where Emma and Kathy and Julie right now and William, lucky enough to be in sunshine and warm places. Thank you all. Many blessings
Thank you.
to
Good
each one
night.
of you.
Thank
Joyce.
you. Good night.
Good night.
Adios. Adios.
Adios. Joyce, hang on a second.